Dear Jesus, thank you for this year, and thank you that we could all come together and celebrate the 8th grade class graduating. Over 8th grade, I have made many memories with my friends, and I am thankful for all of them. And thank you that we're all moving on together to high school. Just thank you for your goodness, your love, and your grace. Amen.
Hello everyone. As president of the 8th grade class of 2020, I'd like to sincerely thank all of you for making the trip out here to Hendersonville Church. Whether my fellow classmates are your children, friends, grandchildren, or extended family, I'd like to thank all of you that have made it here to celebrate our graduation with us. It has been an awesome year getting to know all of my classmates better, whether they've been here ever since kindergarten, such as myself, or maybe they've just recently joined us. We are all the class of 2021. Despite restrictions, limitations, and setbacks, our class, working together, has accomplished a lot this year. We've done bake sales, sold umbrellas, had biblical plays, gathered bottle caps for recycled benches, and aided in the rebuilding of Fletcher Academy's greenhouse. We've worked hard and achieved many things as a class and hopefully impacted a lot of the younger students at CGCS to do the same. I'd also like to personally thank all of the parents for being so supportive of your children. Whether you've helped them with fundraising, class parties, organized this lovely graduation, or cleaned bottle caps in the blazing sun, we're all very grateful of your generosity of time, money, and support. Teachers and faculty, thank you for guiding us as we all learn and grow. From you, we have learned so much, laying the foundation on which we will build in high school. Mr. Johnson, thank you for being such a cool teacher. Thank you for helping us create so many memories and not only teaching us, but laughing with us and sometimes at us. We look forward to our future, knowing we are prepared to face the challenges ahead.
struggles I'm facing, the chances I'm taking, sometimes might knock me down, but no, I'm not breaking. I may not know it, but these are the moments that I'm gonna remember most, yeah. Just gotta keep going, and I gotta be strong. Just keep pushing on, 'cause there's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Keep on moving, keep climbing, keep the faith, baby. It's all about the climb.
Completing my 8th grade year has been monumental to me. So much has changed as I have grown at Captain Gilmer Christian School, spiritually, physically, and emotionally throughout the past 4 years I have attended school there. I have made so many great friends and so many great memories that I will always look back and have a good laugh over in the years to come. However, when I first came to Captain Gilmer, I was unsure of what to expect. I was nervous and shy, but all of my classmates know now that I'm not nervous and shy. And throughout the years, my classmates have shown me kindness and happiness and have made me into the person I am today. Without a doubt, I can honestly and wholeheartedly say that my friends are the best in the world. Now, with being a valedictorian, I would like to thank all of the people that have helped me grow academically and have pushed me to higher limits. First, I want to give a huge thanks to Mr. Johnson for teaching me and having patience with me if I didn't understand a certain new idea in any subject, especially math. Also, I want to thank my brother Jacob because he helps me with my homework when I'm very frustrated and I can't figure it out. Jacob's always there and he helps me. So my time at Captain Gilmer is up, but I will never forget all my amazing teachers and friends that have made my years at CGCS the most fun they could possibly be. And for me, graduation is not the end, but it's the beginning.
It takes a breeze to make a banner speak. Our goal should always be to make this breeze, the gentle nudge of love that can set giant happenings in motion. The banner we are aiming at is always to love others unconditionally and make them citizens of God's kingdom. And the love that it takes to make this breeze is honestly not that much. All you need is a little bit, and great things can happen. This year, I think we have been successful at making the starting breeze and sharing joy everywhere we go. We have done so much together, from the Esther play to being dumb on class trip. There is a sense of camaraderie and friendship here that is rarely experienced. Each of us brings something different to the table, and when that happens, everything just clicks together like the last piece of a puzzle. I know that I, personally, have learned so much from this class. I would like to share just one of these lessons. This year, I realized that no matter where you are or what you're feeling, there will always be friends and family around who love you and are always willing to help and comfort. Like our class motto says, miles may separate us, but memories will always bind us. This is definitely true. We have made so many memories together in only the 2 years that I've been here that I feel like I know each of you very well, and I'm definitely planning to stay connected with each of you, no matter where I am. Thank you for a great year, and I hope we can make even more memories in high school, always while sharing the love and joy that God has put in each of our hearts.
I'd like to introduce our speaker for this evening, Mr. Derby. We chose Mr. Derby for our class speaker because of his positivity and him always showing the bright side of situations. And plus, he brings us donuts every time he sees us.
Thank you very much. Saved the best part for last though, right? So today I brought them munchkins because they're putting a period on their elementary experience. Should have brought eclairs too, and it could have been an exclamation mark, but anyway, I feel very honored to have been asked. In fact, when Mrs. Wilson texted me and asked me, I actually jumped in the car and drove over right then and ran into their classroom. So you guys really are a special group, and I do thank you for asking me to be here and sharing in your great event. One of the things that's always been a major moment of counsel from my wife and pretty much anybody else that knows me as a speaker, and that's keep it short. So I'm going to try and keep it to 3 pages. We'll see how that works out. Chapter 1. Yeah. Before we start, though, I would like to pray with you, so let's bow our heads for prayer. Our Father in heaven, thank you so much for blessing us with such an amazing class. Lord, we also want to thank you for the challenges that we have faced and what a testimony that this class has been and how they have dealt with those challenges. Help us to all be able to learn from that, Lord. And Lord, help them to not hear my words, but to hear yours now as we share time together. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, I do apologize for this group back here because I am turning my back to you, and depending on who you talk to, you might be getting my better side here. So, but I do want to connect with you guys as much as I can here, because this is a special event. I do want to encourage you and let you rest assured that you won't have to do that goofy little walk that you did coming in here for another 4 years. So it looks like you're running away from something in slow motion and losing. But you guys did it gracefully, and that's over. So you can practice that if you want to at home somewhere in the next 4 years. But I just have a question for you. I don't know if you've ever been going down the interstate and you look far off in the distance and it's at night and you see a house and you see the lights on in that house. Have you ever seen that? Why is that important for us? We don't know those people. We don't know anything that's going on in that house. Well, this is why I think it's important. It's a reminder to us that God is in the little details. And as I think about the things that we have encountered over the last, say, 15 months, we had choices to make. And we had challenges that we faced that really pushed us into those choices. And when I say we, I mean you. Because yes, there were standards that were set, there were things that were put in place, but all of you had a choice whether you were going to work with it and make it the most positive situation, or whether you were going to rebel. And I've got to tell you that your teachers and your principal have told me just how much they're going to miss you. And that tells me that you chose wisely. You chose to stay together as a group. You chose to make the best of a tough situation. And for that, I'm deeply proud of you. You know, when I think of the COVID isolation situation, especially what we faced in the fourth quarter of last year, you know, the biggest challenge I think that everybody, not just young people, but everybody faced was self-worth. Because normally when we look in the mirror, no matter how many people praise you for the way you look, and they might wish they had your hair, or they might wish that they had your eyes, when you look in the mirror, you normally see your flaws first. And if that's all we have is ourselves, then that can really pull us down. But the fact that you guys stayed together and you guys kept it light and you found a way to persevere through that tells me that you were listening to God's still small voice. And that is really the theme of my talk tonight is, are you listening to God's still small voice? You know, when I encountered the beginning of COVID last year during that fourth quarter, believe it or not, I went through donut withdrawal because I could not deliver donuts. And I didn't get to see your faces, and I didn't get to have that time. I'm sure there's a health message in there that donuts are okay. I used to tell the kids that, you know, they do make a zero, so maybe it's like 0 calories or... But that was a great opportunity for me to connect, but I also thought about the times that I just had conversations to talk with so many of you and connect, and I missed that. And I actually went through my own bout of depression. I looked in the mirror and didn't like what I saw. And when I dealt with that for the first few weeks, my biggest challenge was, how do I deal with that sadness? And unfortunately, one of the things that I have told you guys about over the years is my addiction to food. And so I turned to that for a while. And amazingly, not amazingly, but just like, duh, it didn't help. In fact, I looked in the mirror and I really didn't like what I saw then. But then I listened to God's still small voice. And I shared this with you guys last year during the week of prayer that we did on Zoom. And if any of you listened in on the Pathfinder talks, I shared with it a little bit then, but God told me to go for a walk. Just go for a walk. And so I went out, and the first day I walked 1.5 miles. And I was so proud of myself, and I was in so much pain. But it felt good because I chose something other than the curls that were, you know, putting food in my mouth. And I went for a walk the next day. And then I went for 2 walks the day after that. And then by the next week, I decided I was going to walk to town. And as I was walking, I decided I was going to pretend. I had to find some way to make a positive of it, just the way you guys have found that way. But I decided as I was walking to town that I was running for mayor. And I would wave at everybody. And as I'm walking, I'm waving. And then I got to town and I realized it's a long way to town. And now there's a real commitment because I was too proud to call for a ride and say, Christy, would you come and pick me up? So now I had to walk the 4 miles back with blisters on my heels, but I kept waving at everybody. And And I was choosing to believe that those that didn't wave, well, they must have been related to our mayor. And they saw the competition coming. Well, in no time at all, as I was taking those walks, people would wave at me before I had a chance to wave at them. And that was the message, that I started out with a little walk, and God found a way to turn that into waves for the entire community at a time when people were struggling, and whether they were politicizing one thing or another, or if they were afraid because what's going to happen to us. You guys found a way to choose peace. You guys found a way to stay together. Or these teachers would be saying, instead of saying, we're really going to miss this group, they're like, oh, only another half an hour. But as you listen to God's still small voice, this is what I want you to think. When you listen to God's still small voice, you have more courage. You have more wisdom. You have more value. And you do have that peace that passes all understanding. Now stop and think about that just for a second. Peace that passes all understanding. I don't understand it, right? But God is the only one that can give that to you. And he helps us, and he's helped you find your purpose. To find your purpose in life. And if that's only right now to take care of your brother and sister, you have been successful. Because as I've listened to your teachers, as I've listened to your principal, as I've talked with many of you, you have said that you have been there for each other. And there's nothing more important than you could have done during this time with to be there to support each other. And I'm proud of you for that. Well, when I was going on my walks and I was getting my blisters, I realized that I could also do something else, and that was that I could go golfing. And you guys know a little bit about this because I've told this story, so I'm going to try and do a little speed trip through this. I'm not a good golfer, all right? So let's be clear on that. I'd hit the ball into the woods, and I'd go in there to look for mine, and I'd find 5 others. And I got to the place where I did that enough times, I was actually having more fun finding golf balls than playing. And I was paying for hitting my ball into the woods, so I just decided I was going to hunt golf balls. And if I found one at the beginning and one at the end, that's all I needed because I was hunting golf balls. I called them manna from golfers. But at the same time, as I'm out there walking, I'm remembering the text, Psalms 46:10. And it is, be still and know that I am God. As I'm walking out on golf courses, the only thing I would hear every now and then that would be unsettling was 4. But other than that, I'm hearing birds, and I had a few beaver in the rivers and streams that would scare me sometimes because I thought it was a log floating, and all of a sudden it would thrash. But it was so peaceful, but it gave me time to think. It gave me time to process what God had in store for me. Now, some of the things, and these things you don't know, but if I wouldn't have gone on that walk on that first day, that would have led eventually to that, I would have missed out on some opportunities, and I'd like to just share a few of those with you. One of the golf pros at one of the golf courses was actually moving to the Hendersonville area, and they were having a very difficult time finding a place to rent. They didn't need much. They just needed a basement apartment. And I said, hey, I know of somebody. Aiden Keefe's family had a basement apartment, and now that golf pro is living in Aiden Keefe's basement apartment. If I wouldn't have gone on a walk that first day because God said, get up and go out and walk, we wouldn't have a family getting to know the Adventists in our community, because maybe they would have looked somewhere else. There was another situation where I met one of the superintendents from one of the golf courses, and just through conversations, first of all, he was wondering what I was walking around the woods doing. So I explained it to him, and then I would see him from time to time, and he started to tell me his troubles. And he thought I was a pastor because I worked at a Christian school. I just, I reminded him I wasn't, but it was the closest thing to a pastor he'd seen in a long time. So we started praying together. And he asked me to pray for him in different situations. If I wouldn't have gone on a walk that first day because God told me to go on a walk, I wouldn't have had an opportunity to pray with that guy. Another situation came up where I met a golfer. And this was really one of the funniest things, because I was looking and there was this creek between us, and he hollered over to me and he says, "Hey, did you find many golf balls?" I said, "Yeah, I found a few." He's like, "Good, I'm out. I just hit my last one in the water." He said, "Can I buy some from you?" Well, there's a creek between us. I don't know how I'm going to do this. So I said, "Yeah, I'll just throw you a few." He's like, "No, that's all right. Just throw your whole bag over here. I'll pick some out. I'll put some money in your bag and I'll throw it back over to you." Well, he also left his phone number. And so we started conversations, and we would talk, and found out he was a retired teacher. And then I found out because I called him, he ended up calling me back, and he said, "Would you pray for me? And would you actually pray for my sister? Because she had to go in for open heart surgery." And so we had that prayer. And then I continued to pray. But if I wouldn't have gone on a walk that first day when God said, "Go on a walk," I wouldn't have had that opportunity. And that's where this was all going to end until yesterday, when I drove to Greenville, North Carolina, for a graduation there last night. And I went over the night before because I wasn't going to be able to drive 12 hours in one day. I used to be able to do that when I was younger, but those days are far gone. And so I went over the night before. I had a little time, so I decided I was going to go walk on a golf course. And so I pull up in front of this guy's house, and I go up and I knock on the door, because this is a country club. So I knock on. I didn't want him to think there's some weirdo that just parked out in front of my house and come back and he'd towed my car. So I go up to knock on the door, and he opened the door. And so he comes out, and I said, "Hey, I'm getting ready to go on a walk out here. I was just wondering, can I park my car in front?" Well, we started talking, and like a half an hour later, I found out that he actually was from the Silver Spring, Maryland area, which I spent 15 years. And I said, "Oh, wow, I used to teach at John Evans Andrews Elementary School, and I used to teach at Tacoma Academy, and I taught at Columbia Union College." And so we had a wonderful conversation, and I go back, I park my car, I get out to walk, and now his wife's out there, and she comes up and she said, "I went to John Evans Andrews Elementary School. I went to Tacoma Academy, and I dropped out of the church a long time ago, but we've been thinking about going back." If I wouldn't have gone on that walk when God said, "Go on a walk," I wouldn't have had that opportunity yesterday. They have my number and I have theirs. Well, let me tell you, folks, you have my number too. You guys have each other's number. And you guys are there for each other, and you've been there for each other through this process. And it's been so heartwarming for me to be able to come over. I know a lot of it, you're excited about the donuts. But then after we get over that, I get to practice my dad jokes on you guys. And you guys tolerate them, and every now and then will give me a pity laugh. But ultimately, what it comes down to is you have found the formula, because you have proven that you have listened to God's still small voice. The way you have allowed him to lead you to stay together as a group, to really not just exist, but to thrive this year is amazing. And get to this point where you aren't even wearing masks. How about that? I think we probably have a few dentists in here that are excited to see all these kids with teeth. Well, at least one. Anyway, but I used to have to pull my mask down every now and then and say, I'm smiling, because I think that's what we all missed. We missed the smiles. You guys found a way to love each other and nurture each other with the masks on. And I'm so proud of you for that. Now, as you go forward, and somebody said it, that this is not, I think, James, I think you were the one that said it, that this isn't the end. In fact, they call this ceremony commencement, which means to go forward. So while it's the end, it's like you've run this race and it's ended, and then there's a starter pistol that's going to go off in 2 months and you're going to get going again. But there's something that I want to leave you with, and I really want you to think about, because you have been given an amazing gift of a pandemic. I know. You're looking at me like, okay, now you're really getting weird. Okay, but think about it. You guys have found out not just how to survive such a difficult situation, but how to thrive in it. And there's other people that are going to need to see that formula. And that formula is that still small voice. You guys have learned how to do that at such an early age, where there are people that have lived, 30, 40, 50 years, and they've been struggling with how to cope with this situation. You have learned how to do it. So while, yes, it's been a struggle, I'm certain, we are told that we're supposed to praise the Lord for all things. And so as you go forward, you're going to face other challenges. But when you do, be still and know that He is God. There's a story that really motivated me when I was a lot younger, and it was about a guy named Rudy. And he wanted to be a football player, but he was a little guy, and he really loved Notre Dame football. And he wasn't that great in school, struggled in a lot of ways, but he got an opportunity to go to the community school that was the sister school. And they gave him 1 semester, and he worked really hard, and he put his application in to go to Notre Dame, and it came back and it was rejected. And he went to his advisor and he said, have I done all I can? And he got another semester, and he applied again, and he was rejected. And he asked again, have I done all I can? And finally, the advisor said, I know 2 incontrovertible things. There is a God, and I am not Him. That's one of the things I want you to remember, because that's what a lot of our world is struggling with right now, is they're trying to be their own God. Hold on to the fact that we have a God that is all-powerful, all-knowing, that has spoken to you, and you have listened. And for that, I'm proud. Now, a few of you asked me, because you kind of know what I do when I speak, as I normally sing. And a few of you, when you're getting off the bus, said, are you going to sing for us? And I didn't answer, but I am. This song I sang back 5 years ago when I did the week of prayer. And so you guys were a lot younger then. But this song really is one to just be a promise that God is always going to be there for you. He didn't bring us this far to leave us. He didn't teach us to swim to let us drown. He didn't build His home in us to move away. He didn't lift us up to let us down. There are some promises in a letter written a long, long time ago. They're not getting older, they're getting better, because He still wants us to know He didn't bring us this let us drown. He didn't build his home in us to move away. He didn't lift us up to let us down. Never use the word defeat. Claim his promises, every one of them, and every spoken word he'll keep, because we're everything to him. He didn't bring us this far to leave us. He didn't teach us to swim to let us drown. He didn't build his home in us to move away. He didn't lift us up to let us down. He didn't lift us up to let us down. Stop it. You guys have lived that this year. He has not let you down. And I'm here to tell you, you haven't let him down either. And I'm so proud of you. Congratulations, and I'm looking forward to seeing what bigger and better things this group does.
Thank you, Brett. That was beautiful. This is a special class, and I got a little emotional seeing y'all walking in. I wasn't sure if it was because y'all were walking so bad or because, but I did get emotional. But I want y'all to know how blessed we are going to miss y'all a whole bunch. And we get to share some of the reasons this class is so special with our next, for the awards. Our first person that we want to honor is Abigail Morales. Abigail, would you come up? Abigail is receiving a special award from Dr. Steve Edney, the orthodontist. She is receiving this award for the most improved. Abigail came with a lot of different things, that she was new to the school. She had a lot of struggles, but she did not give up. And Abigail wants to be a doctor, and I told her that she can very well achieve that goal. So we're very proud of Abigail. Our next award we want to give is our Leadership Award. So if Seth Gibbs would please stand up. Seth Gibbs has conducted himself as a leader ever since I have arrived at Captain Gilmer. He has volunteered to lead in so many different ways, anything from taking out the trash, but being the over student council, and we're very proud of Seth. Thank you, Seth. So our next person we want to honor is Addison McKenzie. If you would stand up, she is our salutatorian. Addison has a 3.97 GPA. We had a lot of GPAs that were very close, actually, and run for this. And Addison has worked very hard to maintain this GPA, so we're super proud of Addison. If we can get it on her. There we go. Good job, Addison. Now, Phil, I did tell you this was a special group. So we have two valedictorians, and they wanted to be presented together because both of them have 4.0s. So if I could get Mr. James Smith to stand up and Elijah Small to stand up. These are remarkable young men who have worked very hard to achieve great academic success, but also just success as individuals. They're great to be around, very talented. Anything from climbing a school wall to writing a play. Right here, you got it. So thank y'all so much. Very proud of y'all. Yep, I will. Okay, Mr. Wilhelm, I know he's right here. There you go. He is going to present the awards for the Fletcher Academy scholarships.
Mrs. Wilson has told me about you on many, many occasions. More so second semester than first semester. But we talk a fair amount on the phone. I see her up there, and then every once in a while, she slips in. I don't solicit it. I'm not asking about you, but she can't help but tell me about you. And she said, you are going to love this class. And she's not said it once, she's not said it twice, she said it over and over and over again. And that tells me that you're a very special class to her, and I'm sure she's speaking for your teachers as well, because if they didn't like you, she probably wouldn't like you either. And because she likes you so much, I am anticipating I'm going to like you as well. And so are the teachers at the academy and wherever you may end up going to school. We hope it's at Fletcher Academy. It's a short walk, and it's downhill, so it's easier to get there. So I'm going to give out a few awards tonight, the scholarships, and most of these are renewable. If you keep your grades going, even if you don't get it tonight where you want it, you can improve and elevate your scholarships in following semesters and years and get to the top. It's up to you. The ball's in your court. But this is based on what you've done at this point, and so we're going to start out with our first level scholarships for $200. This goes to Rubim Konko. The same level, Abigail Morales Hippolito. Next one is Samantha Myers. And Kylie Truckenbrodt. This next award is in the amount of $400 for Rowan Kerwin. This next one is for $600 to Jana Day. Next, same amount, Cole Elledge. Elena Genevieve. Luke Whiteman. These next scholarships are in the amount of $800. Madeline Ashlock. Riley Berry. Seth Gibbs. Lance Christinger. Addison McKenzie. Elijah Small. James Smith. And Aubrey Witt.
When you guys chose someone other to speak than me, you didn't realize that you're still going to hear me speak. So it's just going to take that much longer to get out of here. Before we get to the tributes to the parents, I just wanted to say a tribute to this class. We've shared a lot of memories. You're the third class that I've had for 4 years, and I don't think anyone else in here has been in my class for 4 years because they didn't survive. So you're the only ones. And so we've shared a lot of memories, a lot of nicknames like Ginger and Sweet Tea and Big Daddy, Juice Box and Stinky Cream and 5 Cent, Binoca Nut, Scoop, Bigfoot, Band-Aid. I mean, there's been a lot of them. Vulture. You guys have taught me a lot as well. You've taught me about hot air ballooning and how those work. You've taught me about mutually liking and what that means. You've taught me that August is a time of relearning. You've taught me how much some of you value bikinis. You've taught me that how to pronounce Juan Cabrillo. You've taught me what an epic collapse it is by the Braves. You've taught me that Carl Sandburg actually was the founder of KFC. Yeah, not a well-known fact, Colonel Sandburg. You guys also taught me a new game, hide and I give up because I can't find you. I'm right here, Luke. You finally found me. Finally. It only took you a week. When I first became a teacher, one of the things I would do with classes is I would kind of look at them and see which ones of them were similar to how I was as a student. And now as a parent, I look at my students and I look at each one of you and think, what characteristic do each one of you have that I would love for my children to carry on? And so as a tribute, I just wanted to say those things before you guys thank your parents. So starting in the back with Jacqueline, Aubrey, your fearlessness, I can put you in any situation and you are not intimidated by anything or anyone. It's usually the other way around. To come in as a new student and just fit right in and nothing bothers you, I really admire that. Kaylee, your joy. No matter how many times you get hurt every day, I would go and help you up or check on you, and even while you were hurting, and I'd be like, what's hurting, what's wrong? You would have a smile on your face, which didn't make sense to me since you were hurt, but you just always have this joy about you. Sam, your force of will. This actually just came to me right now, but you're like a tornado. You can kind of see the warning signs, but you never know when it's going to show up. And when it does, you just pray you're not in its path. But you get things done when that happens. Abby, your perseverance. You went from coming in last year and really struggling to blossoming this year. And that's why you got that award, because we got to see the talent and abilities that you had this year. And we didn't get to see that as much last year, but you persevered. You went from being a new student that didn't like to talk to anyone, including me, to having lots of friends and really fitting in. Ruvum, your resourcefulness. You are called the vulture for a reason. You just kind of swoop in and get stuff, whatever you need, and you always figure out how to get to the next step. And you're incredibly resourceful. Madeline, your desire to learn and your teachability. It didn't matter the skill, But if I told you to try something, you were not like, I know what I'm doing, or I can do that better. You would ask more questions. You would ask, am I doing it right? You know, can I do it a different way? And I didn't get a chance to get to know you that much in the couple months you were here, but I appreciated the fact that you were so teachable and willing to learn. You weren't saying, I already know everything, which is rare in middle school. That you were willing to learn. Riley, your excitability. You're excited about everything. Star Wars, Hamilton, just leaving PE. You're just so happy. Great job. You're telling everyone, great job. You're just so excited all the time, and I love being around that. Cole, your strength. You came as a student that didn't want to look me in the eye when you talked to me, to volunteering to stand up in front of large groups and you speak in front of people, to sing as a group, and now it doesn't faze you at all to be in front of anyone. You always seem calm, and it still makes me laugh that when you first came and I was asking you in football what position you played, like, oh, quarterback. I've always been a really good quarterback. And I was like, okay. And you got out there and started playing. And then when I met with your parents at one of the parent meetings, I was telling them that, and they're like, he's never played football before. I don't know why he said that, but you just were confident that you had that skill. Fooled me. So, Elena, your laughter, it does not matter. You're struggling right now, and I haven't even said anything funny yet, but you laugh all the time. You're always happy. And it's hard not to, when you would come in, just have a smile on my face, because as soon as I would see you, you just start laughing. I don't know if that was at me or at something else, but it just, it always made me smile. Seth, your determination. You will not be denied, whether it's at PE and you're running over, through, on top of people, or it's in a debate or discussion. You will not be denied or let it go, ever. I think we have a number of ongoing debates still going because you won't let it drop, and it was always interesting every morning, the debate that would happen somehow between you and Luke for forever. Some new debate every morning before worship. Rowan, your maturity. I never thought I'd say this 2 years ago. At all. It was about as far from it as I could see, but you, more than any of your classmates now, understands time and place and what's appropriate and when it's appropriate. And that's a sign of your maturity that you have gotten, because you have fun, you want to have fun, you want to do well in school, and you understand when you should be working, when you should be playing, and that's a great sign of maturity. I would love to have your wardrobe too, as many times as you change your clothes. Lance, your work ethic. I've never had a student work as hard at everything as you, even more than your sister. No matter what task I had, you would volunteer. You never complained. You never would ask me, well, if I do this, can I have candy or can I have donuts? You just did it. You didn't expect something in return, and you always did it with a good attitude, and that shows in your academics. You're a hard worker, and you do really well because of that, and that carries over to all areas. Addison, your authenticity. And you probably still can't say that word, but I gave you a year to practice. Nice. You are you no matter what, no matter the situation, and you don't care if people have a problem with that. That irrational confidence at times is wonderful, because you're okay with who you are. You're not trying to be someone else. You're just you, and that's a great thing, because not many people have that confidence, especially at your age, to just say, this is who I am, like me this way or don't like me. And you will tell them that too. Elijah, your intellect. I enjoyed, whether it was having debates in class or hearing your speech for class office, any of your writing for the Esther play. You just have a way of encapsulating things in words it's so profound a lot of times, like August is a time of relearning, that just kind of sticks with you forever. James, your, I don't even know if this is a real word, but your inclusivity, you will be with anybody in your class, and it's not just you're with them and yeah, I'll get past the time. You make those people, when you're with them, feel like they're important. It's not just, oh, I'm in their group, we'll work together. I would watch you ask questions and, get ideas from them. It wasn't just, I'm going through the motions. And I appreciate the fact that you could be with anybody in the class and it didn't matter. It could be your best friend, it could be your worst enemy. Nobody else would ever know the difference between the two. Nicole, your resilience, as many times as I would see a certain tall redhead knock you over in sports or hit you with a ball in sports or trip you in sports, you just would get right back up. I'd ask you, okay, yeah, I'm fine, and just keep running and just keep going. And no matter what happens to you, you just bounce back because you're so resilient. And I appreciate that. And then there's Luke. Just getting a little emotional right now. So, Seth said it really well one time in class that I enjoy students who challenge me. And you have challenged me in so many ways. But I truly have enjoyed it. And the biggest thing with you, though, is your creativity. And if you don't know what Luke can do creative-wise, just come. It may not be for another 10 years, but come see the mural that he is painting on the classroom wall. It's unbelievable what he can do, and he's made many a class period art by making stuff out of cardboard boxes, the millions of pictures of Elijah that he has drawn through every math, history, art class too. But your creativity. And as Mr. Wilhelm has said, that we have really enjoyed, I know personally, I've really enjoyed having you as a class. When Mr. Derby asked us a question about you guys for the academy, I was actually typing out on class trip, we're not giving you that information because we're not letting you guys go. Well, most of you. Some of you we still might, but I thank you guys for the memories, and especially this year making my job a lot easier. And then to the rest of you, it takes a village, it takes families, it takes a church, it takes all of you to make this happen. It's not just faculty and staff, it's everyone involved to encourage them, to be role models, to someone to confide in, to just be there for them for support. And the reason all of you are here is because you have in some way done that with these students. And I, as their teacher, can't thank you enough for that. I'd also like to thank the other middle school teachers, Miss Larrabee and Miss McDonald. Again, it was an interesting year at the beginning to get used to, and to have 3 teachers trying to work on their schedules and corral 50-some students and get them in the right place. They were a tremendous blessing. The administrative staff as well. I think all of you know that if Teresa's not there, then the school just needs to shut down for the day. But couldn't do it without administration. And then my wife and 2 boys, I thank you for your support and encouragement, even when I'm not home all the time. And then I come home and you guys, all you want to do is get me to teach you something else. And I've just taught toddlers too many hours already in the day that it makes it difficult. But I thank you all for everything you've done, whether it was helping to fundraise for their class trip, helping with the Esther play, anything along those lines. The students have recorded a message for each of their families. So when you see your child's name come up on the board, if you will just stand up, they may know where you're sitting, but that way it can be easier for them to get to you to thank you. So again, thank you to all of you.
Thanks for supporting me and getting me to this point. Thank you for helping me and never giving up on me. To my brothers, thank you for putting up with me and teaching me lots of new things. Thank you to all of my friends for always being there to me. Thanks to the rest of my family for being there. And finally, thank Mom, Dad, thanks for supporting me and getting me to this point. Thank you for helping me and never giving up on me. To my brothers, thank you for putting up with me and teaching me lots of new things. Thank you to all of my friends for always being there to me. Thanks to the rest of my family for being there. And finally, thanks to Mr. Johnson for being a pretty cool dude and a decent teacher.
Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for all that you've done for me over the years and making me the person I am today. I appreciate all that you do, especially for allowing me to live in your house rent-free. I could never ask for better role models to look up to. I'd like to thank all of my teachers, Miss McDonald, Miss Larrabee, Miss Wilson, and especially Mr. Johnson. Thank you for making our classes so much fun and telling us funny stories. I hate to say this, but I'm going to miss being blinded by your bald head, sorta. Dear best friends, I'm going to miss having back-to-back sleepovers all the time, singing at the top of our lungs in the car, hilarious Just Dance battles, and even destroying my home with ridiculous amounts of flour and glitter. Lastly, I'd like to thank my whole class. Thank you for the best year ever. I'm going to miss the moments where you make me laugh till I can't breathe, even though you guys make me lose brain cells just listening to you. Thank you for all the great memories we've made along the way, and for making our last year at Captain Gilmer amazing. I could never ask for better classmates.
Dear family and friends, I want all of you to know how grateful I am for all of the kindness and generosity that you have shown me. When I've had bad days at school or at home, all of my friends and family have reached out to me and done as much as they could to brighten my day. I would like to especially thank my family for making me into the person I am today. I want to thank my mom for answering my questions and protecting and loving me through my childhood. You have cared for me and have always been there when I needed you. Dad, I want to thank you for teaching me and pushing me to keep trying and to not give up. From first learning to ride my bike to encouraging me on hikes when I was little, you are always with me and encouraging me. I want to thank my brother Jacob for always keeping it cool when I was small and aggravating. Also, I want to thank you for always believing in me and helping me with my homework as well as taking me rock climbing. I am beyond grateful for my family and friends for always being kind and helping me get up when I have fallen. I want to thank my family for always being willing to help me and giving me motivation to pursue my dreams. But above all of what I'm thankful for, I want to thank my family for teaching me about Jesus and his unfailing love. As I continue on in my life, I want all of you to know how much joy you have given me and how awesome all of you are.
Dear Mom, you are one of the greatest I could ask for, and I didn't even have to ask. Thank you for always being there when I needed anything. You care so much about us and will always be there to help me. Dear Dad, thank you for being the major influence in my life. You have the face that I saw as I came home from school most days. You taught me so much of what I now know, and thank both of you for teaching me everything you knew about God from an early age. I will never forget that. Joshua, you are the sense of comedy and enthusiasm in my day.
You bring an aura of joy around you wherever you go. And no, I probably won't play with you tomorrow. A very strong thank you goes to both sets of grandparents for being there to comfort me whenever I needed you. And to everyone else who has influenced my life, other family, friends, teachers, mentors, music teachers, and pet. Thank each of you for adding another aspect, talent, or characteristic to my life.
Thank you, Mom and Dad, for raising me and giving me love, even though I don't always deserve it. Thank you, Mimi, Papa, Grandma, Granddad, and Grandma Carolyn for loving me and guiding the way for me over the years. Carson, although you're about as annoying as it can get, thanks for being the best little brother ever. Mr. Johnson, Miss Larrabee, Miss McDonald, and all the other teachers I have had over the past years, thank you for your guidance. And last but not least, thank you to all my best friends, Riley, Nicole, Elena, Sam, Seth, Elijah, James, and to all the other classmates I have had. Thank you for the bad times and the good times over the last 3 years. I've had so much fun with you guys. I can't wait to go to high school with you.
Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for all you've done. Mom, thank you for all the hard work you taught me over the years and all the pep talks you've given me. Thank you for being the kindest mother. Dad, thank you for teaching me how to do yard work. It has really contributed to my success. Thank you for teaching me how to play sports and helping me with math. Thanks for being a good dad. My friends, thank you for all the dumb memories you have created with me. You guys always lift me up and make my days better, and I thank you for that. Dear Rowan, we have been friends since 2nd grade. Rowan, thank you for being a great friend. You've always been there for me since the beginning, and I thank you for that. You have created a lot of great memories together, and I hope we stay together. And I hope we stay friends. Dear Johnson, thanks for being a great teacher. Even though I don't always agree with your calls, you have been a great teacher, and I have to admit I'm gonna miss your stories and you a little.
I can't mention everyone that has had an impact on my life, and I am sad about that. But to all of you, I thank you as well. First, I'll start by thanking all the students and staff at Captain Gomer for letting me join in all the fun and games and having a great time. Everyone was so kind and friendly to me. Mom and Dad, thank you for raising me and teaching me to love and grow in God's love. You were always willing to answer any questions I had. You have put up with me through it all, the happy days and the sad ones. Thank you, and I love you so much. Catherine and Leah, though we fight sometimes, we laugh just as much or more. I know I could be an annoying little sister most of the time, but you were always there to play with me and hang out with me. I love our weird family. Grandma and Grandpa, thank you for always being there to watch over me when my parents left me to go on a trip. Thank you for the great times in the garden, painting, and the great conversations. Grandpa and Muti, thank you for all the memories traveling with you and my cousins. You both were always willing to have us all over at your house. You always had a craft planned in the workshop or other activities, so we were never bored. Thank you all for the amazing memories. I hope to create many more with all of you.
Thank you, Daddy, Mama, Megan, Joel, and so many others for always being there for me. Thank you for picking me up every time I would fall. And thank you very much, Aunt Allie, for introducing me to Hamilton, which has been an amazing thing for me. I'm so happy to have all of you in my life. I'm very thankful and grateful for everything you've done for me. I don't know what I would do without you guys. To all my amazingly annoying siblings, even when I thought you couldn't get any more obnoxious, you did. But you make me laugh, so that's a plus. Thank you to all my great and amazing friends, Cole, Addison, Aubrey, Elena, Sam, Elijah, and Seth, and all the rest of my friends and my class. I will never forget all the incredible memories that I have made with you guys, from the hilarious quotes to the inside jokes that no one else understands. And Johnson, thank you for making me laugh at all your jokes and stories. You're the best teacher I could ask for.
Thank you, Mom, Dad, Grandma, Grandpa, and Katie for being there for me and being an amazing family. I would also like to thank JJ and the Bradfords for always welcoming me. And thanks to all my friends who I enjoy being around and who helped me out when I needed it. And thank you, Mr. Johnson, for being a great teacher. But again, thank you so much, Mom and Dad. I am extremely lucky to have you guys in my life, and I wouldn't change a thing about either of you. I love you guys both.
Dear Mom and Dad, I want to thank you for everything you guys have done for me. I never would have made it here without you guys because, well, you know, you kind of made me. Well, anyways, I know I don't always show it, but I'm so grateful for you and what you've done for me. I love you. Damiana, I know we don't always get along, and even though you get on my nerves a lot, I wouldn't trade you for the world. Thanks for being such an awesome little brother. I want to thank all of my teachers because I wouldn't have been able to make it to 8th grade without you guys. I also want to give a huge thanks to Mr. Johnson because you actually made school fun. I know, who knew school could be fun? And lastly, to all my spectacular friends, you have definitely made a huge impact on my life. You guys have given me tons of memories and lots of laughter to live with. I'm so grateful that I met you guys. I don't know what I would do without you. I think that means...
Mom, thank you for always staying up with me on those late school nights. Thanks for keeping me humble by always beating me in Ticket to Ride. Also, thanks for drinking tea with me at exactly 4 o'clock. Dad, thank you for pushing me to do my best in everything. Thank you for teaching me to question and giving me the tools to answer those questions, even when you're not there. Laura and Rachel, thank you for helping me every step of the way by making sure I kept my table manners and helping me to memorize plays and memory verses. Grandpa, thank you for picking me up on those days Mom and Dad couldn't and setting a spiritual example for me. Gary, thank you for being my emotional support and friend. And classmates, thank you for staying with me even through my fear of hoodies and teaching me to remember the urn.
Thank you, Mom, Dad, and Grandma for all the things you guys have done for me and raising me to be a respectful person and loving me no matter what. Thank you, Mom, for cooking great meals for Dad and I, and thank you for helping me with my schoolwork. Thank you, Dad, for putting a roof over our heads and helping me with my school projects. Thank you for teaching me some survival skills and teaching me good work ethic. And thank you, Grandma, for taking me into your house when I needed it and cooking great food. I would especially like to thank Lance and all the Christengers for being like a second family to me. Thank you, Lance, for all the great memories we had together throughout the years. I don't know where I would be without you or any one of my friends and family. I would also like to thank my teachers, especially Mr. Johnson, for being an amazing teacher over the years. Lastly, I would like to thank God for everything that He has done for me and my family and my friends.
Dear Mom and Dad, спасибо за що ви мене народили. Спасибо, мама, за їжу, що ти варила. Thank you also for raising my annoying little brothers and sisters. Спасибо, тато, що мене навчив за все. Thank you, all you friends. Thanks for all the memories you guys have given me. Thank you, Mr. Johnson, for teaching me. And thank you, Mom and Dad, again. Спасибо, мама и тату.
Dear Mom and Dad, no hay palabras suficientes para decirles lo tan agradecida que estoy por su amor y ayuda. Gracias por inculcarme a tener una pasión fuerte por aprender y hacer todas las cosas posibles a ponerme en el camino correcto. Nunca voy a olvidar los valores importantes que me han enseñado, en particular la perseverancia y la honestidad. Dear Carlos and José, gracias por hacerme reír, aunque yo sé que a veces los enfado y soy un poco difícil to deal with. Gracias por estar ahí conmigo cuando lo necesitaba. Dear friends, thank you for making the school year fun. I hope we can become greater friends in the future. And lastly, I want to thank my teachers for getting me this far.
Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for everything you do for me. I know I might not be the easiest to live with, so thanks for putting up with me, even though you sort of have to. I obviously wouldn't be here without you, so thanks for bringing me into this world and raising me to become the person I am today. Love you. Joshy, thanks for being a pretty cool brother. Even though we don't always get along, you're okay, I guess. It feels like yesterday you were criticizing my taste in music. Oh wait, that was yesterday. But thanks for dealing with me all these years. Dear Grandma,
Thank you for picking me up from school and playing multiple board games with me. Thanks for the things you've done for me. Gabby and Papa, thanks for playing dominoes with me and always making me laugh. I always enjoy baking with you and playing board games on a Saturday afternoon for hours. My best friends, thanks for the multiple laughs, the failed baking attempts, and the bad carpool karaokes. Elena, your laugh is so contagious, even though you do laugh at like everything. Addie, thanks for helping me throw burritos at Nicole and trying to help my drawing skills, even though they're still bad. Nicole, from trying the iconic whale to tackling me almost all the time and getting me hooked on smoothie bowls, we've had a lot of fun this year. Thank you for being such an amazing friend. Riley, your obsession with Hamilton and Star Wars always makes me laugh. You're a great friend. And finally, Johnson. It feels like yesterday you were trying to choke 7-year-old me. Thanks for that, by the way. Thank you for being a cool teacher, and even though I've had to deal with you pretty much my whole life, I'm actually going to miss you next year. A little.
Dear Mom and Dad, I want to thank you for helping me get here. Mom, I don't know where I'd be without you. You do so much for me and I appreciate it. From taking me to school in the morning and dealing with my morning attitude, from letting me help in the kitchen when I was 4 and not getting mad when I picked up a knife and started cutting vegetables. And Dad, I want to thank you for teaching me to be responsible even though I'm not responsible, and taking time out of your day to help me with homework, and teaching me how to change tires and oil to a car and other skills, and now teaching me to drive, and I appreciate all the memories we made together. And Hannah, I'm thankful for you even though we did not get along, and I appreciate the fact that you deal with me when I try to be sarcastic even though I'm not funny and I end up roasting you instead. And finally, my friends, I thank them for all the times we spent together and the memories we made.
Dear Mommy, I want to thank you for always loving and caring for me. You always make sure I know that you are there for me, even through your busy schedule. You do things with me that I love doing, even though it's probably not your favorite thing to do. But you do it because you love me and want to spend time with me. Thank you for being the best mommy. Dear Daddy, thank you for always being willing to come play sports with me after working hard all day. Also, thank you for making me feel special and showing me that you want to be with us and that there's no other place you'd rather be. I appreciate you for always being willing to share your opinion and experiences with me. Thank you for being the best daddy. Brooke, thank you so much for always wanting to hang out and do stuff together. It means so much to me how you always include me in things in your life. I am happy that I have a sister who wants to play football and soccer with me and who's always up to have fun. I really appreciate you as a sister and as a best friend. Paul, thank you for always being entertaining and fun to be with. Sometimes I know we fight, but when we fight, we just make a truce and then we're good. I know you always got my back and that you will always be there for me. You are a lot of fun to be with, and I wouldn't want any other brother. Thank you for being the best brother. Brittany, practically my second sister. I don't know what I would have done without you. You have made this year amazing, and I don't know how I could repay you. Grandparents, thank you for always being there for me and doing so much in my life. I can't explain how much you guys mean to me. You always make time for me and go out of your way to show me how much I mean to you. Thank you for being the best grandparents. Friends, guys, thanks for being my friend. I really appreciate everyone's friendship, and I really enjoy hanging out with you. I hope we can become better friends in years to come, and thank you for making this year great. Teachers, thank you guys for working hard this year. I know it's not easy being a teacher, but I really appreciate your help and all you've done for us.
Mom, Dad, thanks for supporting me and getting me to this point. Thank you for helping.
Good pictures. They really are. They're just like you.
You know, I had a student today told me the sweetest thing. They said, Miss Wilson, Captain Gilmer really needed you. We're so glad you came. And this class, I want y'all to know that I mean this from my heart. I needed y'all. And God knew that. So when I tell you this, I tell you this with more emotion than I can possibly say. One of my favorite Bible verses that I have in my office is Joshua 1:9. So I'm challenging y'all to be bold, to be brave, and be courageous, because that's what I see when I see you. I see a generation that is going to be sharing the love of God in a world that's ready to listen. Amen. Be bold, share it. Amen. Okay? I see a class here that is brave because you've accepted one another. You are brave in your diversity, brave in like sharing. When I loved hearing the different languages as you're giving your tributes to your parents. So be brave. And guys, when you look and see how this year's been, that's a small thing compared to what's coming. Okay? So be courageous. You are the class that can do things that others have tried and failed. You're the class that will accomplish it. The Bible already promised that and told us. So as we present this diploma, and we no longer see you as middle schoolers, except I told y'all that didn't happen until midnight technically, right? Technically at midnight, you're high schoolers. But as you do that and you take these certificates, remember that challenge. Be bold, be brave, be courageous. Be like Christ.
All right, well, before we present the class of 2021 their diplomas, I would like to share a few statistics regarding this class. So I know that you've already seen we have 9 beautiful young ladies and 8 fine-looking gentlemen, and you guys look really great tonight. Most of these kids, 10 of them, were born in North Carolina, and 2 of those 10 were born at Advent Health right on our campus. The rest of them were born around the nation, 2 in Florida, 1 in California, 1 in South Carolina, another one in Michigan, 1 in Tennessee, and 1 in Illinois. 5 have brothers and sisters who preceded them in going through Captain Gilmer Christian School, and 7 have brothers and sisters that will be following them through our school. 5 have mothers or fathers who attended Captain Gilmer Christian School. 4 have mothers or fathers who've worked at Captain Gilmer Christian School, possibly maybe as a substitute teacher too. So as you saw them walking in today, you could see that a lot of them have gold cords, silver cords, A and AB honor roll pins. It is my job as the registrar at the end of the year to figure up their GPA, their cumulative GPA from 5th grade through 8th grade. And that is how we find out who are salutatorian, our valedictorian, and what honors they receive. So we had 2 valedictorians at a 4.0 GPA. They tied at a 4.0, and I look it over and over again. And so we're very, very proud of them. And then with our salutatorian, it was very, very close. 3 of them were so close, but one won out there. So anyways, we're very, very proud of all of them. I would say about 70% of them were sporting those beautiful gold and silver cords for high honors or honors. So congratulations, kids. 4 of our kids have gone to Captain Gilmer all 8 years or more. There are several of them that started in pre-K and went into kindergarten and then on up through 8th grade, and we're very happy that they have been with us. All but one of this group will be attending, my understanding is Fletcher Academy next year, at least at this time I'm aware of, and that other one will actually be attending another Seventh-day Adventist school, so we're so excited about that. Amen. Class, you will be greatly missed. The staff at Captain Gilmer invite you to visit us often throughout your academic years ahead. So with that, we would like to present these specially handicrafted diplomas just for you. So with that said, will the first row please stand? Luke Allen Whiteman. Jana Nicole Day. James Thomas Smith. Elijah Luke Small. Addison Lee McKenzie. Lance Wesley Chrissinger. All right, if the first row will please sit down. Thank you. Madeline Nicole Ashlock. Riley Jade Berry. Cole James Elledge. Elena Anne Marie Geneve. Seth Andrew Gibbs.
Oh, Seth, you Jew.
Rowan James Kerwin. Okay, second row, you may be seated. Ruvam Vladimirovich Konko. Abigail Morales Ippolito. Samantha Marie Myers. Kaylee Karina Treckenbrode. Jacqueline Aubrey Witt. Will the class of 2021 please stand, all of you? Thank you.
So it was my pleasure to present my former favorite class. If my new favorite class, the graduating class of 2022, would please stand. Thank you to all of you.
Okay, this class, y'all go ahead and be seated for a second. Go ahead. And y'all can be seated too for a second. So we had a special gift that Samantha Myers, if you would please come. Do you want to say anything? No, she does not. Okay. I kind of need you to. I don't know what to say.
Okay, so this is a gift for the best teacher, Mr. Johnson.
Do I need to give another speech?
No. So we wanted to get you this gift because we know you've been wanting it for a long time. And there's also another thing in there, so if you want to open that. Might bite you.
I needed this. We have a box at home just for this.
We wrote a song for you.
You wrote a song for me.
Yes.
Do I have to sing it?
No.
Because I will. Oh, wow. They got me a lifetime membership to Rosetta Stone, so I can actually communicate with Abby now. Bueno. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to be having a carnival celebration across in the fellowship hall. Now, we do ask a couple of things. The parents have really been working hard. It's beautiful. It's just like they've transported it into a different world. But we're asking that one icy per person and one cotton candy per person. I know when the children heard that, their eyes lit up. One per person, and please keep the younger children with the parents at all times because there is a lot of different decorations. We want to make sure that they're all safe. So we welcome y'all to join us for the carnival.
Well, I'd like to thank you all for coming out to our 8th grade graduation. Would you please pray with me? Dear Jesus, thank you for this amazing school year. And please keep our families safe in the summer. We love you. Amen.